Have you ever noticed that those who move up at work aren't always the most qualified? Meanwhile, you're there, you're working hard, you're doing what you're supposed to do and even more, but you're constantly being overlooked. In this video, I'm sharing 4 reasons why this may be happening to you, and you definitely want to stick around for number 3 because I'm sharing with you what I did that helped me land 5 promotions in less than 8 years. So let's get into it. Number 1, keeping a low profile and working hard just isn't enough. It's not just about working hard. People need to know what you are doing. Colleagues that you're seeing who are getting promoted often aren't the most qualified, but what they have is that they are often a lot more visible. There is a theory by Harvey Coleman called the Pi theory, and it is a formula for career success. And basically what he says in this theory is that there are 3 main components to succeeding in your career. There is P for performance, I for image, and E for exposure. And he says that the most important out of these 3 things is your exposure at work. Being able to be in front of the right stakeholders, the right decision makers, has a lot more weight than your performance at work, because that's basically a given. It's almost the starting point of where you are in an organization. It's a given that you need to do your work. It's a given that you need to deliver on results. So what actually makes you stand out and what actually makes a difference is that exposure and that visibility within your career. So what can that look like to you practically is a need for you to start advocating for yourself, a need for you to start speaking up about your work and ensuring that people are aware of the work that you're actually doing, because unspoken expectations don't get met. So you want to make sure that people know what you've been up to, and this can look like you sharing in a team meeting some of your achievements or accomplishments, or sharing that with your leadership team. Maybe you're not that person who feels totally comfortable yet sharing your achievement openly. Well, maybe what you can do is decide that on a monthly basis, you're going to write an email to your manager where you summarize the various accomplishments that you've had in that month. And you definitely want to talk to your manager, give them a heads up, let them know that this is something you're going to start doing, that it's going to be helpful for performance reviews. That way you don't have to wait until the 6-month mark or the annual mark to get the updates. So provide them with an understanding and justification as to why you're doing it. It's not only going to help them get a better understanding of what you're doing and what you're accomplishing for the organization, it's going to help you to know that, hey, I'm actually doing these things, I'm making a difference. And often what I see with people who keep track of their accomplishments, either for themselves or through sharing them, is that it's also a confidence boost. All right, number 2, I said it before, unspoken expectations don't get met. So you may be expecting a promotion, yet you've told nobody. Nobody knows that you actually are looking for a promotion. In your head, you're thinking, well, I'm working hard, I'm doing all these things. They should know that I want to move up. Maybe they think that you're just happy where you are. They may also think that you're just comfortable where you are. So they're not thinking that you may want to move up in your career. So again, unspoken expectations don't get met. If you have expectations that you want to move up in your career, make your aspirations and your expectations known. So how are you doing this practically? Express your desire for growth. You can have a conversation with your manager, your leadership team. Let them know what your career plans are, what your goals are, what your aspirations are. Let them know what kinds of roles you're targeting. And in that way, they can provide support to you. And I will make a disclaimer that this is only if the person is reasonable. I've had situations where I've worked with managers who haven't been as reasonable, so I wasn't as transparent with them. So you also have to use your judgment when it comes to these kinds of conversations. But in a normal work setting, ideally you want to be able to let people know, especially decision makers, people who have that influence, let them know what your aspirations are so that they can either be a sponsor, so they can be that voice in the room even when you're not there that's advocating for you, or that they can be someone who can mentor you through the journey, or they can be that person that supports that decision to say, yes, you are able to take the next step. So let people know what your expectations are and what your aspirations are when it comes to your career growth. The third thing I see in terms of why people aren't moving up even though they're expecting to, and this is something that I made as a mistake, but once I shifted my mindset and I realized that I was doing this is when I began to land multiple promotions. I was basically expecting people to hand me opportunities as opposed to me going out and taking them. I knew that I wanted to move fast in my career. The reason for that is that I was educated, but I was underemployed. And so I knew that I couldn't just sit around in this role that I was in. At the time, I was in kind of a clerical role. I had a master's degree in public administration, and there was an alignment between what I had studied and what I was doing currently. And what I had seen for many people who had started off in these kind of clerical roles is that after a certain amount of time, people just see you that way. They don't see you beyond what you're currently doing. And so I already knew that I was planning, like I'm moving up in this system. I'm not staying in this role for a very long time. I was in that role for a couple of months, and I was able to move out of that role and to begin to be in jobs that align better with my education and my prior work experience. But the reason I was able to do this is because I made a plan. I didn't just sit there and say, hey, I have a master's degree, they should know this, so they should come find me when a better opportunity opens up. I was actively looking for roles. I was looking at those roles that better aligned with my education and my experience. So if there was a gap in certain skills that I needed, even within the role that I was in currently, I was ensuring that I was upskilling and getting the necessary skills to get to that next level. And so I was planning for my tomorrow today. And so I didn't just sit there and wait for an opportunity to come. I was seeing myself in that next role for every step of the way, seeing myself where I wanted to be and saying, what do I need to do today to place myself in that role tomorrow? And that's how I intentionally was able to get promoted 5 times in 8 years. I would literally look at job posters for the next level and create a list of, okay, this is what I'm missing in terms of experience. These are the kinds of people I need to talk to. These are the kinds of people I need in my environment to support me, to advocate for me, to be sponsors for me. And I would intentionally create this atmosphere where it was almost like I was already at that level where I wanted to be, even though I wasn't there yet, because I was preparing myself mentally and preparing my environment and my network for the next level I was going to. And I did that for every step of the way. So plan for your tomorrow today. Don't wait and say, oh, they're going to recognize how great I am and give me that promotion. What do you need to do now to ensure that you have the necessary skills, that you have the necessary knowledge, you have the necessary confidence, you have the necessary competence to be able to get to that next level that you're looking for? So how do you do that? Practically, you want to make sure that you have a personal development or career development plan. What's the ultimate goal? And look at where you are currently, look at where you want to be. What's the gap? What needs to be done for you to be able to get where you want to be? If it's a skill gap, then find out, is there a training budget available to you? What resources are available online that you can take advantage of to upskill? Who are the people you need to talk to? What are the podcasts you need to listen to? What are the softwares that you need to learn? Find out what that gap is and do what is necessary to fill the gap so that you can make the move to the next level. The fourth thing that may be holding you back in your career is that you keep to yourself and you're not talking to decision makers. As an introvert, that's my default setting. I'm not necessarily looking to talk to decision makers, talk to executives, or even network laterally. That's not what I want to do as, hey, I just woke up and this is a fun thing to do. It's something I know I have to do. And so I find ways to network while still staying true to myself. And you can ultimately do the same thing. Because what you have to keep in mind is that promotions are not just based on technical skills, they're also based on relationship building. Depending on what kind of organization you're in, sometimes the promotions are done through a panel or a board where ultimately these leaders need to know who you are to be able to make a decision and say that, yes, you're the right fit for this opportunity. So if you haven't done that networking, if people don't know who you are and what you're capable of doing, it will be very challenging for you to land that promotion. Keep in mind that colleagues that are typically getting ahead, they have mentors, they have sponsors within the organization, they have people that have their back. And so it's important that you do the same for your career. So how can you do this practically? Set up one-on-one meetings with decision makers within your organization. Not just the people you report to, but even other leaders within your organization. Find out who they are and have conversations with them. You don't need to make it about, hey, I'm looking to get promoted. The conversation could simply be, I've been working in this organization for a number of years. I've been seeing your name in emails and I would love to hear more about what you're doing. Make it about them. Make it about something that you've seen in the news. They've published a recent article or they wrote a blog post. There are different ways that you can approach the conversation to make it about you truly just trying to expand your network and getting to know more people within your organization. So as you can see, getting promoted is all about having the right mindset, the right way of thinking. In this video right here, I'm sharing 3 ways of thinking that are holding you back from getting promoted. I'll see you in that video.